Good morning. Today we're going to be taking a look at XRP and the Sigma coin. So we've quite a journey off the lows here. So we have a really finally kind of like broken out count we have here for this move off the lows for a wave 1 impulse with a wave 2 eventually lining up here, which we were looking for earlier for just like a quick pullback. But it's the good news is we've actually had a bullish tendency to kind of break out of here. So as of right now, an update on the count for everybody. Just there's a lot on the screen. We'll just kind of look at it objectively in two ways here. So we have our wave 1 completion, a wave 2 completion for the ABC, and then this is the full length of our wave 3. So we have a wave 1, wave 2, and then we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave 3 within wave 3, a wave 4, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a completion of wave 5 of wave 3. So now, zooming in here, we are setting up for a flat that has a wave 4 completion that we're going to be working through. And that flat is the reason I'm counting it a flat at this point is because of kind of what we saw on the price structure on the way through the top here. So we had an ABC down, an ABC up, and then we had a 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going in for our fifth wave with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to come in somewhere probably down in this region around 301.96. And we should be setting a lower low into this area here. So there is a chance, of course, we can come back down to this little gap right here. So we do have some volume gaps that you can see, and we'll do these with the fixed range volume profile tool. And you can see from this low over, we've got some potential volume right down here. See, nobody was even doing anything. It was just buys right in this spot. So they're going to come back and back test this eventually at the $3 range for supply. And then if we move this over, you can see that in this area right here, we also have a volume profile gap right there. So this is probably our first target here for the completion of this flat down here to $3.02. This would then finish up our move here. So the goal at this point is, roll the short down, flip long in this area, put a tight stop. If the stop then gets hit, then you just re-long right down in this region for the lower flat. So this puts it somewhere between this morning with a quick smackdown around, let's see here, looks like 9 o'clock my time. And then you have down here another couple hours later. So ultimately that's going to give you this kind of range to pull back down into. And then this flat should be finished. And then we go in for our final fifth leg, which should take us up into this region. So zooming back out again, we have the price action here where this expected final fifth is going to ultimately end up giving you a push to somewhere in the 309 to 310 range. So looking at our liquidation heat map, we've got a couple things here. So here's this pullback to $3. There's definitely this one at 302 to 301 that we were talking about just now for the liquidity. And here's this $3 one, which is why I'm keeping it in mind that this flat may extend all the way down to this region and finish out this wave 4 right here before going into the fifth. But if we use the same liquidity, then here's our move up to 310 with a liquidity. So now 310 is interesting. So when we zoom back out, I placed a VWAP all the way back from the beginning of our high that we received back here. So put it all the way back at the initial high before the higher one that came in. And even if we move it over to that's the highest high right there. So even if with that high being in, that gives us our fair market value that we came all the way down, hit -2, hit -2 again, and then broke out. And now we are sitting approaching fair market value at the 310.65 region, which is going to align with our liquidity heat map at 310. So the expectation is we will get back up to the fair market value. We might go beyond it like we did over here. But as you can see, fair market value has been a fairly reactive area. So another way that we can kind of get an idea is this fair market value likely to be something that we can see play in here? And when we zoom in, we have the opportunity to kind of just get an idea of what our wave count looks like. So if we were to look at this, or I'm sorry, a fib tool. So right now I just drew an upside down fib from the low that we have at the right here at the beginning of everything. So there's that low, okay, and then from that low we stretch it until we see that maybe the fibs align. So this is just eyeballing it. It's not perfect rocket science. It's just an idea. You can see right here we got these fibs kind of basically reacting fairly well. Right here there's a big support being found, a resistance there, you know, so on and so forth. So this would check with us getting up to 308. But if we have a target, you know, in liquidity up to 310-ish, well, you can see that this also kind of looks okay, right? So there's these reactionaries, like that back test right there, back test right here. So just kind of eyeballing it gives you an idea that we're getting close to the region here. I like this one too because of how clean that back test would be right there, along with these back tests all through here in these regions. So I'm thinking 310, 311, 312. I mean, we could even go higher potentially, you know, something like that. So the idea is that you just kind of get a feel for where this could react to. And 309 to 310 is another way to kind of just see that and say, okay, yeah, that looks like it's pretty reactive on those fibs, and this would be the area at the top of the move because we've measured it upside down. So so basically that's how we're looking in this morning. Just some quick little pullbacks on the liquidity down into this region to sweep these late longs with the news coming out in 15 minutes, which is consumer sentiment. So wick it down, smack it, run it back up, close out, and that would be the completion of our wave one. Then once that's in, we will be looking for a larger ABC structure finally taking us back down into these regions. So we were anticipating this way earlier, and so that was the part where, you know, the change in right through this region where Bitcoin takes off is where this kind of correction plays in. Fed meeting coming up on the 17th, so we've got that 17th day right here. So this could be a quicker breakdown, you know, something like that when we get there, or it might take longer past the Fed meeting when people are just not impressed with whatever they say. So, but yeah, this could easily take us back down into this region, or we, you know, which would be a 618 back test, and those are very common, and we know we have these liquidity gaps down here. So good news is we definitely have a good clean impulse off the lows, some reactive fibs, a back test of 299, which would align with our liquidity right here in this zone, and this is where that fib that we hand drew on, and a almost completed wave count that will give us the final fifth wave coming in after we complete this wave 4. So all right, so hopefully that was helpful. This is kind of how I'm looking at where we are in the current price action, and some quick little tricks that I use to give us levels to play off of. So oh yes, and Sigma, let's jump over there. So Sigma's getting its first back test. Look at that. And so we had this really breakout region, first back test coming into play here, chopping right off of the lows. And if we go to our Cardano coin, we would be right here. So there you go. So there's your first kind of move up, first back test. I expect a continuation to play out. So after this breaks down and a continuation, we should still see XRP complete this pull up and then breakout, and then with it, Sigma will also get some bullish movement that will push it off the lows a little bit better. Zooming out on Sigma here on the 4 hour, you can see that this area is super low on the price action. We may even be in that region. We may not even be there yet. I think that's probably more likely now that I look at how far away Sigma is from the lows. So yeah, this will be our first back test. Come in here. Yep, probably first back test kind of thing. So we may only be here, which would be incredible to see this just continual march up as we get the Cardano fractal playing out on the Sigma coin thus far. So hopefully that's helpful, and we will check in tomorrow, and thank you so much for watching.